The National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence warns if current trends continue, China could surpass the United States as the world's leader in AI in the next decade. The commission has new recommendations for Congress for defending the country with technology and promoting U.S. innovation in artificial intelligence. Katharina McFarland is director at Science Applications International Corporation, SAIC, former Assistant Secretary of Defense for Acquisition. She's a member of the National Security Commission on AI. Katharina, welcome. It's good to see you again. You start this report by writing that there are two convictions that you and your colleagues have. One is the rapidly improving ability of computer systems to solve problems is world-altering, and the other is that AI is expanding the window of vulnerability for the United States. How do those two convictions inform the work that you and your team did?
So when we did an assessment, we took a full year to assess at all levels of classification the status of artificial intelligence in the United States. When we took that into account, we could see with a lot of interviews where we were, how we were positioned, and ultimately determined, as you mentioned, that we are not prepared nor resourced for the artificial intelligence technology competition.
When you say that we're not resourced for that competition, what resources do we need? Is it just money? Is it also people? Is it policy, or all of the above, or something else?
It's all of the above. The way we structured the Commission's report, which is a heavy lift, I recommend people read the first 16 pages of a summary, is along the lines of all facets of how to prepare for this competition. It's talent, it's hardware, it's leadership, and it's protecting innovation. So it's very broad.
We have a link to that report at govmatters.tv/resources, and you break this into two primary areas of recommendations, Katharina. One is defending America in the AI era, long list of recommendations there, and part two is winning the technology competition, number of recommendations there too. Are there some of these that are more important or that are the base for succeeding with the other recommendations, things that we should do first?
Well, it's interesting you're saying that, because the commissioners had a lengthy discussion about the 16 chapters of this report because they're so integrated. So we can't really say we prioritize one recommendation over another. But as you mentioned, what would we start with first? I would say you have to start with people. The nation has been very hesitant, I would call it, to engage at all the levels that we need to engage in with artificial intelligence. In fact, when we talk at the very beginning of the report, we mention the fact that artificial intelligence has had a campaign by state actors using our freedom of the press to influence how we think about artificial intelligence. It's one of the ways that we've been impacted. Voting, our financial system, all the pillars of our government have been influenced by offshore use of artificial intelligence. And so I would start with people, get them to understand what artificial is, that our nation and our values can be protected through the use and application of the AI skill and technology space. And then I would move into small confidence building efforts like sustainment, changing business systems, at the same time introducing pilots. So I would talk about a progression of its use.
Who needs to do what, Katharina, in order to fulfill the vision that you and your colleagues have for these recommendations? Where's the onus on most of these recommendations?
It's on all of us. As a nation, this technology space is everywhere. It has been phenomenally impacting to good. If you take a look at the medical field, facial recognition to detect cancer early in patients has evolved into fantastic advances. And yet, because it's got dual purposes and can definitely impact people in multiple domains, we as a nation have to use our skills and our biases to protect our freedoms. And that means all of us. And so one of the recommendations, in fact, is to host at the vice president level a technology competition council that's chaired by the vice president and staffed by the cabinet members, because it's all domains.
We have about a minute left, and before you go, I want to learn more about an event that you are participating in this coming Friday. It benefits the Defense Intelligence Memorial Foundation. What is that foundation, and what's the event that you're doing to benefit it, Katharina?
Well, thank you, Francis. So what we're having, and you can take this artificial intelligence conversation further at this event, is the Defense Intelligence Memorial Foundation serves the fallen family members of operatives. And what we're hosting is a tech talk on artificial intelligence that introduces business-to-business opportunities with sponsors like Amazon, Maxar, Booz Allen, and also with coaches from prior very senior level government officials to improve their ability to enter into this most critical competitive artificial intelligence area and serve our fallen members' families. So it's an opportunity to give and give.
Katharina, thanks very much for coming on to talk about both the event and the recommendations that you and your colleagues make on AI. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Francis.